Hey Ramblers, before we kick off today's episode, I just want you to know that we're finally ready to launch OffSource and it's going to be in October. The team is working tirelessly and endlessly to bring you an amazing product and service. So if you know anyone that needs a virtual assistant or just like to make some extra money for our referral program, tell them to head to offsource.tech or text info to 516-408-2427. Make sure you're following us across all social media at OffSourceHQ. Now let's get ready to ramble. Before we begin, a moment from our sponsor. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Ramblings. We have a star-studded, absolutely wonderful filled guest co-host cast this week, and we are doing a whole bunch and a whole lot of different things. Today we have a good friend of mine, Patt Kelly. He's a father. He's an entrepreneur, he's an artist, and he really is here to bring a different side to things. And so just talk about yourself. Introduce yourself, Pat. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. Can't complain. Maintaining as usual. Regular stuff. Typical things to get through this COVID madness.
Speaking of, how have you been handling COVID?
One day at a time, nothing no different. Caution is a must, You can't just be loose and everywhere with everything, man. I'm telling you, these times is crucial, and being the fact that we ain't even break through like the tip of the iceberg of what they were actually talking about as far as this outbreak is the most scary part. And as far as these kids with a weaker immune system, they fall the most susceptible to it. So everybody got to play a part in working together to belittle this situation, because this has, how do you say, the aspirations to get out of hand like wildfire.
Potential. There we go.
There we go. Potential. Thank you. There.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. How's it been treating you?
It's been treating me well. I've been doing a lot of things during this coronavirus. I'm namely working on doing the business. I've slacked a little bit on the podcast settings though. So I do have to ask though. You mentioned school and everything, and it being younger kids being a weaker immune system, and you being a dad and everything. How old is your son now?
3.
Okay. So what measures, I guess, have you partaken as dad to, I guess, keep your child safe during these times? And what has been your experience? Has it been difficult? Has it been easy?
Well, I mean, a lot of parents can relate, and I understand that some really can't. And that's due to other things in different ways of life, and that's neither here nor there. But, my experience is a normal experience. The kids go through their normal sicknesses, whether you want them to or not, by association or not by association. They have to go through it once in order to get through it. But for the things that you cause or you make happen, or the sicknesses that you bring on or you bring around or bringing in the house, it's just a matter of you staying cautious and cleaning up after yourself, spraying Lysol, sanitizing your hands, washing your hands, you know what I mean? Cleaning the place, wiping down certain things, certain touchable objects, certain touchable things, just certain things like that, to stay afloat, to keep everybody healthy, vitamins, you got to intake that. It's just a lot of things that play a part in keeping everybody healthy and 100%.
So obviously, young Kelly isn't old enough to be in school yet. However, I do have to ask, because that's something that's going on right now, especially since we're in September. My brother is in Zoom school right now, my youngest brother. He's in high school, though. So they're doing a Zoom school. However, a lot of different schools are actually sending kids back to the actual physical location of the school. Now, while you don't necessarily have to make that decision, you can resonate with people that do, because you will eventually or could have been in that kind of situation had young Kelly been older.
Been in that situation, and I'm not sending him.
You would not?
He is, and I'm not. Like, from the first time when he enrolled in school, like, you see what I'm saying? Majority of his sicknesses came from that. You see what I'm saying? And that was out of my control. See, I'm only focused on things within this madness that I can control.
Mm.
And that's keeping him in and finding other ways of education. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, homeschooling is going to be the next best thing, mark my words.
I absolutely agree, because people on the podcast know for the first I'm not going to say 5 years, but 5 grades, up until 5th grade, I was homeschooled. So I am a firm believer in homeschooling. Absolutely.
Really?
Yes, I was homeschooled up until I didn't start school, and I did not go to. I did Head Start. I did Head Start. My Head Start was the one that's over on Blake Street. You know the school on Blake Street where the Valley and Blake meet at the divide.
Right.
Park is. That's where I went to Head Start at. So I did that, and then my parents were looking for a school, and my mom had like this attitude about all of the teachers and everything, and so she just said, you know what? She took the necessary things to be able to homeschool me, and I was homeschooled. I started my schooling career in LW Beecher, 5th grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So,
and I've never like spoken or had like a actual conversation with someone who was actually like homeschooled, and to actually like hear and see the physical difference, like the mental difference, you know, the fundamental breakdowns in the way that you carry on, the things that you do for when you do it, it's completely different. You know what I mean? And you're going to be the one that they say like, hey, like you just said, from 1st to 5th, right?
Right.
1st to 5th, that's not bad at all. You see what I'm saying? Because, okay, it wasn't in like regular school. You see what I'm saying?
I see what
Regular,
like the super crucial social times, if you will.
right. But like the education difference is what I'm getting at more so. You see what I'm saying? The level of understanding, the reading grade level. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of pros and cons in that, but I see more pros than cons.
I definitely
Being
understand.
isolated, receiving an education.
Okay. How do you feel about if the education is more isolation, however there's still social activities like your kid is in
I mean,
camp,
you can.
basketball, sports, things like that?
I mean, yeah, like we escape that, and we always go hands on. You know, I believe in like getting them away from the phone, TV, iPad, etc., stuff like that, to actually get them out there on physical activities. But what was I gonna say? It just slipped. It just slipped.
I want to transition for a moment.
Yeah,
So you've been doing music for a pretty long time, and
yeah.
you've done some pretty good things. What has been the key to your success in doing what you've done?
The key for me has been staying down, man. Never switching up. You see what I'm saying? Staying that same person you always been. Even when it seems like you should switch, just for attention or whatever you trying to accomplish or get through or get to or have. You see what I'm saying? It's just all about being yourself, most importantly, and everything flourishes off of that. When you true with yourself and you live in your truth, nothing goes wrong. You see what I'm saying?
What does
So
that mean to live in your truth? I hear people say that, but I want to know from you, what does it mean to live in your truth? What is your truth?
living your truth means what it sounds. It actually means what it really sounds like. You see what I'm saying? Like living your truth and whole. You see what I'm saying? That's an honest way of living. You see what I'm saying? That's a humble way of living. You see what I'm saying? That's tolerance. That's patience. You see what I'm saying? And that's being loyal. You know what I mean? But it's an honest way of living. I can't find no other words to put that, because it is what it sounds like. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when you do that, when you live in your truth and you put that forward, it comes back. You see what I'm saying? And it's an energy thing with me, because when you put it out there, sometimes it gets absorbed and it gets pushed right back to you, like a push and pull type of thing. And when it doesn't happen, you feel that. You see what I'm saying? That's a disconnection. That means that they ain't like-minded. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
like-minded, bad vibes. You see what I'm saying? It hits different, and you got to be there feeling it for yourself to understand what I'm actually saying.
Okay. It's an experience kind of situation. It's something that you have to experience and live every day and in through day to day.
Facts.
So how has music fared for you? You know, you've been doing this for a long time. What has kept you in for doing something? Why do you love doing it so much?
Man, it's a lot of answers I could tell you for that, but for the most part, I just like how you could take one thing and build it with one another in the combination or sequence or perfect timing rather, and make something beautiful. And then when you add vocal, then you go to the next level to adding dance. There's visuals in that. You see what I'm saying? There's emotions in that. You see what I'm saying? There's true art in that. You see what I'm saying? And that's my life. That's my passion. That's music, art, and I utilize it all in one thing. I don't just use one thing for one thing. Everything goes for one thing, and everything's made off of art, first and foremost.
So what is your art? Would you say what are you best at? Would you say it's producing, making the music, art? Like what is your niche? What are you best at?
Now, this is where things get a little crazy. I don't know what I'm best at. That's my God honest truth, because I don't just limit myself to one thing. I find a lot of things, even things that I know I kind of shouldn't be doing or things I've never seen myself doing. I just think about it, think about the opportunity in it, think about what can come from it long term and how I can stamp it on the resume, and then I go for it. You see what I'm saying? And that's been me. Every time I see something, I go get it. I go get it. I go get it. So now, if I'm not learning for the skill, I'm learning for the experience. Either way, I got it under my belt. Now it's just on to the next, on something I don't know how to do. After a certain point of time, it becomes like, okay, what don't I know how to do now?
Okay, I like that. So
You see what I'm saying?
you're good at learning then. I think it would be safe to say like your best niche or something that you can do is you're good at learning, and art always allows for you to learn something.
Facts.
I like that.
That's the nice way to put it.
So for some of the people out there, because like we said, this is geared for the entrepreneurs. As as an entrepreneur, as an artist, because like I said, I consider people that are artist entrepreneurs. You are a personal brand and a business in and of yourself. What have been those personal struggles as a working person, as an entrepreneur, as an artist, and coupling that with the responsibilities of having to run a household?
It's all about finding the proper balance, man, because for some of my ideas and the way that I think about certain things, it involved more than one individual. So for when I can't have that, I have to break it down and break it in half and then balance it with the things that I can't shake, natural responsibility. You see what I'm saying? And then you make time for it as you go along, and you don't rush it along, and you don't forcefully cut off true responsibility just to get it done, because sometimes somewhere some things are backtracking. You'll find yourself putting yourself 4 steps back when you thought you was trying to take 2 steps forward. And in those case scenarios, you don't want to do that, because you'll find yourself back at square zero all the time. It never fails. That's why it's important never to skip processes. You feel me? It's a step, then it's a handful of processes that you can't skip. You feel me? And if you follow that correctly, you can't fall. You can't fall. You see what I'm saying? You can't fall, and nobody could deny you when you're moving for certain things, or you're trying to conquer certain things, or you're trying to see things, or you're trying to make something happen. For either case, you can't be denied when you're moving like that, and especially living your truth. You see what I'm saying? 100. You have to have a balance, and you can't put one in front of the other, because it's going to cause some conflict of interest down the line.
I like that. So, tell me, what is the greatest hurdle that you've overcome? I want to know, because we, as Black men, we all have
The
No,
my greatest
strong
hurdle
feelings.
that I've ever overcome is actually seeing people with their brands and stuff like that. You know, my clothing line, and I've been watching and paying attention and also learning. So I want to just say thank you to the ones that are locally out there, statewide, town wise. You see what I'm saying? I pay attention, I pay respect. You feel me? I give credit when it's deserved. That's the difference. And I also support difference. You see what I'm saying? But since mine's was one of the first ones out. I'm never gonna hold you. Mine's was one of the first ones out. I My shit hit what? 2013. You see what I'm saying? Trope hit 2013. And I didn't even know that that was gonna be where it's at today. Never gonna hold you, didn't know that. And I was just saying it, saying it, saying it. Okay, it's catchy. A lot of people saying it. Okay. Now a lot of people saying it, then other people are running off and saying that they made it. You see what I'm saying? So I have to slow it down, bring it back, and have everybody pay attention to my logic of where this word came from. You see what I'm saying? So no make or break, you can't shake me. You're gonna ultimately know that it was me who made this.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But I've been taking my time. Look, and I said 2013 is now 2020. You see what I'm saying? And I have still yet to step off on putting my brand out there. You see what I'm saying? I am never going to flop. And this is things that I know because this is things that I manifest for when I go through things that I go through. And I know because people are acquiring my brand now. I'm sporting my brand all day long, every day, here, there, no matter if it's a hat, hoodie, shirt, long sleeve, short sleeve, on the shoe, on the jeans. You see what I'm saying? It's everywhere. You cannot shake it. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? But I've been taking my time with it. So when I step out, I know people are going to acquire it. You know, it's going to be, of course, there's going to be customs for it they're acquiring. You see what I'm saying? And the main thing that I am not doing is prostituting my brand.
Mm.
I am not going to prostitute my brand.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, per se, like this one that I have on now. You see what I'm saying? If I make 50 of these, that's the 50. That's it. That's it. You would never see another bulk, another shipment, nothing. You
Okay.
see what I'm saying? That entices the one.
Okay.
You
So
see what
every
I'm
time you
saying?
come up with something, it's the only time you come up with something.
Absolutely. I'm never gonna prostitute my brand. And that's just my makeup. And I can't expose too much of my ways because then people would try to, I took too much time putting time in this.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? And once it goes, it goes. It's it. You can hit me for a custom or whatever, but it's never gonna come out again. Those 50 people that got it, got it. That's it.
Okay.
Look for a new colorway or another design or something like that, something along those natures. Like, you see what I'm saying? But,
That's pretty
but
smart for a clothing line. Never to repeat something.
yeah, like, this ain't Jordan or Nike or something like that. Like, he got it like that to where he could do it and then put a little shazazz and then do a little decal difference to put it back out there and know people gonna buy that shit because of who you are. You see what I'm saying? It's a supply and demand business. You see what I'm saying? And if it's catchy, putting the art to it, as I know this gonna do because it's what I do. I took my time with this. You see what I'm saying? Get business done how business is supposed to be conducted, and I put my shit on the market. You see what I'm saying? That's it. And I know you can't deny me because I know and did everything that I was supposed to leading up to the major event.
I completely understand that.
But that's the major aspect of my game plot is not prostituting my brand. You see what I'm saying? And that's going to be the smartest thing I've ever did.
I like that. I like that. That definitely resonates because I like the idea of never being of people having to ship around because now it drives a want value, drives the supply and demand curve up. That's not a bad idea. I do I do like that. So I thank you for coming on the podcast. We have a short time. We have a lot of things coming on today. We'll definitely be bringing you back on maybe for a song release or an album release. So we'll be in talks.
Definitely. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for having me on and stuff, you know. It's a perfect way to jump into the morning and express yourself from a different angle and let others in on how you think about things and perceive and think about and how you think about going about things, excuse me, just for a better mindset, you know what I mean? Because somebody's way might not be their way, and they might just need to hear what I have to say in order to get their things up, jumping and going.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We never know. It might be all it takes, you know what I'm saying?
That's all we need is one, and that's why we're here. Before you go, Ramblers, if you enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure you're following me across all platforms at Assistance HQ. Catch up on exclusive content and keep track of everything going on at OffSource. See you in October.